This is the official ranking of the fire manipulators in the Mortal Kombat franchise. Here, we're not analyzing physical strength, story importance, or popularity, just firepower. From weakest to most devastating, let's break down who truly masters the flames in the Mortal Kombat universe. Some characters simply summon fire. Others live it, breathe it, or outright are fire itself. And believe it or not, Scorpion doesn't even make the top 3. And if you're a Mortal Kombat fan, make sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the upcoming videos. Goro is a Shokan, a race of half-human, half-dragon warriors known for their 4 arms and overwhelming strength. He was Outworld's reigning Mortal Kombat champion for many years, even defeating and killing the great Kung Lao. He's a prince and a fierce warrior, completely loyal to Emperor Shokan, ruler of Outworld. His fire abilities come from his dragon lineage. When we talk about Goro, the first thing that comes to mind is his brute physical power, heavy strikes, and the classic move where he leaps onto his opponent and slams them into the ground. However, he also possesses fire-based abilities due to his genetics, since the Shokan are direct descendants of dragons. Because of that, he can use flame attacks, though in a more limited way. Goro can fire multiple flame projectiles from his 4 hands, using this technique to pressure opponents and break their defense. After all, we're talking about 4 projectiles at once. In Mortal Kombat 4, just like the dragons, he could also shoot a single fireball from his mouth. Goro does have the typical Shokan draconic flame, but his control over it is limited and secondary compared to his raw physical power. His fire abilities are narrow in variety and rarely explored, naturally placing him behind the specialists coming up next.
Cobra first appeared in Mortal Kombat Deception. He started out as a professional fighter, but quickly dove into the criminal underworld, becoming an assassin and catching the attention of several underground organizations. As a martial artist, Cobra mixes street fighting techniques with multiple styles, including capoeira and boxing. He's known for his arrogant attitude, always trying to prove he's the best. As for his fire powers, their exact origin has never been fully explained. However, it's widely speculated that Cobra unlocked his ki through intense training, similar to characters like Liu Kang and Kai. With that control, he can channel flames through his fists and feet to enhance the impact of his strikes. Cobra can also fire energy projectiles, allowing him to hit enemies at mid and long range. Cobra does handle basic flames thanks to his training, but his fire abilities are shallow and lack refinement. He relies on simple bursts and never displays advanced control, placing him clearly below fighters who truly shape and expand this element. Making his debut in Mortal Kombat 4, Kai is a human warrior and a member of the White Lotus Society, the same group that includes Liu Kang and Kung Lao, dedicated to protecting Earthrealm at all costs. Kai is a Shaolin monk who travels the world to hone his skills and eventually becomes one of Liu Kang's disciples. His acrobatic fighting style blends martial arts techniques with mystical abilities, including the power to throw fire projectiles. His fire powers also come from unlocking his ki. His ability to manipulate energy and generate flame-based projectiles strongly resembles Liu Kang's techniques, which suggests Kai developed this talent while training alongside Liu Kang and other members of the White Lotus Society. His training required intense physical and spiritual discipline, enabling Kai to channel his internal energy, his ki. This mastery is what fuels his acrobatics and flame attacks, trademarks of his combat style. Just like Liu Kang, he uses this energy to enhance his strength and unleash his elemental abilities, creating fireballs and firing energy shots in multiple directions during battle. Kai has far more solid fire techniques, channeling energy to create projectiles and boost his mobility. Even so, his arsenal is still limited, lacking more advanced variations or continuous fire manipulation, which keeps him below the more complete specialists on this list. Shujinko first appears as the main character in Mortal Kombat Deception, serving as the protagonist of the Conquest Adventure mode. He was deceived throughout most of his life into collecting the Kamidogu, mystical artifacts that, once united, would allow the resurrection of Onaga, the Dragon King. Regarding his fire powers, they come from his magical abilities. During his journey, Shujinko learned and mastered combat techniques from many warriors, developing a versatile style that lets him replicate attacks and abilities from other fighters. This talent was granted by Onaga, back when the Dragon King existed only as a consciousness. He offered Shujinko this gift in exchange for helping him retrieve all the Kamidogu. Of course, this was all part of a much larger manipulation, and Shujinko had no idea he was serving Onaga himself. Over the years, Shujinko trained with some of the greatest fighters in the Mortal Kombat universe, such as Bo-Rai Cho. He also learned to use magic, gaining the ability to manipulate energy, including the power of fire. He learned this from Cobra, who taught him how to channel this magic into flaming punches, projectile attacks, and more. Shujinko is extremely powerful because he combines techniques from countless fighters, but he's not a fire specialist. He can replicate fire attacks thanks to his mimicry ability, but his power depends entirely on what he copies. He doesn't have advanced fire control, making his flames effective but inconsistent, and ultimately weaker than native users of the element. Tanya, just like Katana and Jade, is also an Edenian, a race known for its longevity and physical abilities far superior to those of humans. Introduced in Mortal Kombat 4, Tanya initially appears to be an ally to the heroes, but it doesn't take long for her true nature to surface. She betrays Edenia, her homeland, and aligns herself with Shinnok's forces. Throughout the series, Tanya serves some of the most dangerous villains: Shinnok, Shao Kahn, and even Melina. Her loyalty? Only to herself and her own interests. Her fire powers come from her Edenian heritage. She has mystical abilities that allow her to manipulate flames, a talent she uses strategically in combat. Among her techniques are fire projectiles, flame-enhanced physical attacks, incendiary explosions, and long-range strikes that make her offense extremely difficult to deal with. Combined with her agility and effective weapon use, Tanya becomes a formidable fighter and one of the franchise's most treacherous figures. Tanya developed true pyrokinesis and can create and launch flames with precision, but her raw power is still moderate. Her fire serves as a complement to her agile style, rather than reaching the destructive level or variety of the more dominant fire users on this list.
Like Goro, Sheeva is also a Shokan, and is known for her strength and 4 arms. She's a proud and fierce warrior, even serving as Queen Sindel's elite bodyguard, and at times as a general of Outworld's forces, as seen in Mortal Kombat 11. Like other Shokan, she can wield fire because her race is a direct descendant of dragons. Sheeva appears to be a bit more skilled with these fire abilities, able to generate flames in all 4 hands and control them more effectively. She can fire them simultaneously, combining them into a large burst or individually through quick, rapid shots. Her flames aren't just weapons, they're declarations of authority. By merging military discipline, ancestral tradition, and raw power, Sheeva elevates Shokan pyrotechnics into something greater, a flaming martial art that few in Outworld can match. Sheeva shows a stronger grasp of Shokan fire, generating and launching flames with all 4 hands. Even so, her power is still more brute than refined, lacking the versatility and intensity of the users who truly elevate the element. While Goro is a Shokan with a more humanoid appearance, Kintaro has feline traits. He sports striped skin and a more beast-like appearance, making him even more intimidating. His look is explained by his lineage being part of a lower caste, unlike Goro, who comes from Shokan royalty. In the story, he's sent to avenge Outworld's defeat, taking Goro's place. His fire powers, like those of Sheeva, Goro, and Kintaro, also come from his dragon lineage, and he excels at using them through his mouth. Kintaro fires powerful flame projectiles directly from his mouth, and these attacks pack a serious punch, able to travel straight, downward, or upward. Whether it's a fast fireball or a devastating flamethrower-like blast, Kintaro pushes Shokan fire to a much more aggressive level, producing intense and explosive bursts. However, his style is all about brute aggression, lacking the advanced control and precision demonstrated by those higher on this list. Taven is the brother of Daegon, the son of the Edenian god Argus and the sorceress Dahlia. His story begins when his mother foresees the catastrophic event known as Armageddon. Taven's powers also come from his divine lineage,
As a direct descendant of a god, he can manipulate energy and channel it into extremely powerful attacks during the battles he faces. His fighting style blends physical strength with magical abilities, especially fire manipulation. He uses this element to fire flame projectiles and even create direct impact attacks, boosting his speed and striking power as seen in his gameplay in Armageddon. Taven has a natural, steady command of fire, shaping it into wide-area attacks, explosions, and lasting projections. Even so, while his power is stable and versatile, it doesn't reach the intensity or absolute specialization of the users ranked above him. Daegon is the main antagonist of Mortal Kombat Armageddon and the brother of Taven, both sons of the Edenian protector god Argus and the prophetess Dahlia. They are also half-brothers of Rain. When Dahlia foresaw the fate of the realms and the threat of Armageddon, Argus placed both sons into incubation, guarded by dragons. One day, they would awaken to face Blaze and prevent the destruction of the realms. However, Daegon woke far earlier than intended, and it drove him insane. He killed his own parents and eventually became the leader of the most dangerous criminal organization in the realms, the Red Dragon Clan. His fire powers come from his divine lineage. As a god's son, Daegon mixes physical strength with magical abilities. His primary magic is the ability to manipulate fire and energy with great precision, unleashing devastating attacks in combat. Beyond that, his divine heritage grants him enhanced resilience and increased combat ability. He can use flames both offensively and defensively, creating fire barriers, firing projectiles, and igniting his swords to amplify his attacks. Daegon wields fire in its rawest state, using continuous flames, explosions, and intense heat projections with extreme aggression. However, his control is unstable, more destructive than technical, which places him below the fire manipulators who combine raw power with complete mastery. In his original version, Sektor was a cybernetic warrior and a member of the Lin Kuei clan. Originally, he was a human ninja, specialized in tracking and capturing targets, but he volunteered for an experiment that transformed him into a deadly cyborg. Little by little, Sektor lost what little humanity he had left, fully embracing his role as a perfect killing machine. In Mortal Kombat 1 2023, his story and even his gender were changed, but here we're focusing on his original incarnation. His fire powers come from technological resources. Unlike everyone mentioned so far, Sektor's fire abilities come from advanced equipment that allows him to use flames in combat along with many other features, such as flight, homing missiles, impact bombs, and grenades. Sektor's arsenal includes an extremely powerful flamethrower capable of literally roasting opponents in seconds. Sektor merges technology and pyrotechnics at a lethal level, producing compressed flames, guided explosions, and extreme heat attacks. Even so, his fire is artificial and bound to machinery, placing him below the users who manipulate the element organically and without limits. Powerful sorcerer who commands dark magic, steals souls, and can shapeshift into other fighters is also a brilliant fire manipulator. Originally, he served as the organizer of the Mortal Kombat tournament on behalf of Emperor Shao Kahn, and his main goal was to win the tournament so Outworld could conquer Earthrealm. Over time, however, Shang Tsung began fighting for his own benefit, and his ambitions shifted until he became one of the greatest, if not the greatest, threats to Earthrealm. His fire abilities come from sorcery. We're talking about a master sorcerer who manipulates all kinds of dark and forbidden magic, so of course he also learned to wield fire in combat. Shang Tsung can control fire in a way similar to Liu Kang, firing bursts, projectiles, and even creating flame constructs, like a serpent made of fire, capable of dealing absurd damage. We saw this in the Aftermath expansion of Mortal Kombat 11, during his fight against Cetrion. Unlike Liu Kang, Shang Tsung can also summon projectiles that appear from unexpected angles, including rising from the ground, allowing him to execute extremely powerful combos and catch opponents completely off guard. Shang Tsung wields fire broadly and strategically, shaping even green flames, projectiles, explosions, and hybrid attacks infused with soul magic. However, his focus is sorcery as a whole. Fire is just one of his many weapons, not his pinnacle, placing him below those who live and breathe the element. Onaga was the ruler of Outworld in ancient times, known for his desire to conquer other realms and gather all power under his control. His downfall came when he was betrayed by his own allies, including Shao Kahn, who at the time was simply Shao, since Kahn is a title. Knowing he couldn't defeat the Dragon King in direct combat, Shao poisoned him, gained his trust, and killed him through treachery. Later, during the events of Mortal Kombat Deception, Onaga was resurrected. He returned with one goal: reclaim his throne and dominate all realms, eliminating anyone who dared to stand in his way. His fire powers come from his dragon lineage. As a member of a race directly descended from dragons, Onaga possesses remarkable fire-related abilities. As seen in his MK Armageddon gameplay, he can fire a flame projectile or unleash a long-range stream of dragon fire. He commands extremely powerful draconic flames, capable of enveloping his entire body and devastating large areas. However, he wields these flames more as an extension of his massive physical strength than as a refined technique, placing him below those who live and breathe the element.
Here we're talking about his original version, Hanzo Hasashi, because in Liu Kang's new era, the mantle of Scorpion now belongs to Kuai Liang. But for this list, we're sticking to the classic. Scorpion's real name is Hanzo Hasashi, the most skilled ninja of the Shirai Ryu clan, a clan that was massacred along with his family by the Lin Kuei, led by Sub-Zero, Bihan. After his death, Hanzo was resurrected in the Netherrealm as a Spector, taking on the name Scorpion and becoming consumed by hatred and a thirst for revenge against Sub-Zero, whom he believed was responsible, not knowing the real culprit was the necromancer Quan Chi, who manipulated everything to make it look like Sub-Zero had committed the massacre. Later on, Scorpion seeks redemption, freeing himself from Quan Chi's manipulation and trying to restore the honor of his clan. His fire powers come from absorbing Netherrealm magic. Unlike Liu Kang, who unlocked his abilities through Ki, Scorpion drains energy directly from the Netherrealm, wielding hellfire mixed with dark magic to attack his enemies, which is why his flames are so absurdly powerful. Scorpion's fire burns with such intensity that he can remove his mask and even his own face, exposing his skull to literally spew hellfire, incinerating his victims without mercy. He can also channel that fire through his kunai, heating his chains and burning enemies on impact. Even Scorpion can engulf his entire body in flames without taking any damage. Scorpion manipulates fire in a brutal, relentless way, channeling infernal flames capable of consuming bodies and even souls. Still, his focus is on raw, destructive force, rather than absolute, refined mastery of the element, leaving room for those who wield fire on an even broader scale. Cetrion, who debuted in Mortal Kombat 11, is an elder goddess, daughter of Kronika, the Keeper of Time, and sister of Shinnok. Representing the element of life, she's tied to the natural forces of earth, fire, water, and air, embodying balance and harmony. Despite her connection to virtue, Cetrion ultimately supports her mother's plan to reset the universe and reshape it according to her will. Her fire powers exist because she is an elder goddess. Incredibly powerful, Cetrion can manipulate all four natural elements: earth, fire, air, and water. She can summon vines, stones, flames, storms, and tidal waves, using the forces of nature as extensions of her attacks. Beyond elemental control, she also wields divine energy, allowing her to manipulate pure power, unleash devastating strikes, and create extremely effective defenses. Not to mention her overwhelming durability, typical of celestial beings. Cetrion ranks this high because her fire isn't just flame, it's primordial force, capable of manifesting as colossal eruptions and divine heat that warps the environment around her. Her pyrokinesis operates on a cosmic scale, surpassing any mortal, and falling short only to the top 2 apex fire manipulators in this ranking.
Liu Kang is a Shaolin monk known as the greatest champion of the tournament, representing Earthrealm. Trained in martial arts, he was chosen by Raiden to stop Outworld's invasions. Throughout the saga, Liu Kang's story became incredibly complex. He won the tournament multiple times, faced sorcerers, emperors, fallen gods. He was murdered by Shang Tsung and Quan Chi in Deadly Alliance, then resurrected as a zombie in Mortal Kombat Deception. In the second timeline, he was killed again, becoming a corrupted revenant. Finally, in Mortal Kombat 11, after defeating the Titan Kronika and the sorcerer Shang Tsung once more, he becomes the god of fire in the new era introduced in Mortal Kombat 1, 2023. His fire powers come from unlocking his ki. From the beginning, Liu Kang proved he was far more than a skilled fighter. Thanks to his intense training with the Shaolin monks, he learned to unlock his ki, granting him access to fire abilities. This allowed him to use flames in combat, making him even more dangerous. Liu Kang's abilities include firing blasts of flame, surrounding himself with fire without taking damage, full control over the shape and movement of his flames, and even creating fire constructs, including his iconic Fire Dragon, his most famous fatality, and in Mortal Kombat 11, an ability showcased during his fatal blow. He can also enhance punches and kicks by enveloping his fists and feet in fire, maximizing the damage inflicted on opponents. Liu Kang takes second place because even as a god, his fire still follows a directional logic. He channels, shapes, and projects flames with extreme precision, but always in a controlled scale focused on combat. Even as the god of fire and creator of the new universe, his pyrokinesis, magnificent as it is, doesn't reach the unrestricted, all-encompassing expansion of the character ranked above him.
Blaze is an immensely powerful entity and the guardian of the fire element. He first appeared in Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance as a secret character and later became the final boss of Armageddon. Blaze's origin is directly tied to the imbalance of power between the realms. He was created for a single purpose: to maintain balance. Created by Delia, the wife of the Eudenian god Argus, Blaze exists as a catalyst of ultimate power that can be absorbed by any combatant who defeats him, granting the victor divine-level strength and amplifying their abilities to absurd levels. His fire powers come from being an elemental being. As a guardian, Blaze channels the very essence of fire, something far beyond merely controlling ordinary flames. He can create and manipulate fire freely, launch flaming projectiles, generate devastating explosions, and unleash direct incendiary attacks against his opponents. On top of that, his body is composed of living lava, making fighting him even more dangerous. Blaze can also assume an even stronger form, increasing his power and durability during combat, turning into a truly unstoppable force when necessary. Blaze isn't just someone who uses fire, he is fire made manifest, a being whose entire existence pulses like a conscious volcano. In the Mortal Kombat universe, no fighter, god, or entity channels the element as absolutely as he does. While others shape flames, Blaze is the primordial flame, the spark that predates technique, dragon lineage, or divine mastery. His energy doesn't rely on focus, training, or heritage. It simply exists, unlimited, scorching the air around him. Even among gods, Blaze stands alone. Fire isn't his weapon, it's his identity. His living lava body, his constant heat, and the overwhelming intensity of his attacks place him at the absolute peak of everything related to fire in the franchise's lore. That's why Blaze ranks first. He doesn't manipulate fire, he is fire in its purest form. And no other being in Mortal Kombat comes even close to that level of absolute blazing power.